So lie down, knees bent, hands on your abdomen, and we're just going to tune into the breath. You can have your feet hip width apart or wider, but here you have a choice to come to constructive rest, which is bringing the knees together. It's optional. It's whether it appeals to you or whether it doesn't appeal to you. And it's just take a moment or two to let the body sink down to the ground. There's no need to watch your breath. There's no need to count the breath. You're simply letting the body settle. You might feel the abdomen rising on the in-breath and a gentle falling away as you breathe out. And the breath directly correlates to our health and certainly to our emotional state. The more stressed we are, the more rapidly we tend to breathe. And that revs up our nervous system, and also from a functional point of view, our organs aren't really getting fully oxygenated blood, and toxins aren't being got rid of quite so efficiently. So here you're inviting the body to let go of the aspect of holding itself up. The skeleton has been given permission to let go of the back muscles that hold us up. And just very, very gently turn your head to the left. You might not go very far. And breathing in, bringing your head back to the centre. Breathing out, turn your head very gently to the right. Come back to the centre and do that once more in your own time. Coming back to the centre. And then stretch your legs along the mat as if you're lying in Shavasana. Your palms can either rest for the moment on your abdomen or just bring your palms down alongside you. And just start by very gently extending your toes upwards to the ceiling and extending your heels. And then gently point your feet away from you. Inhaling, extending your heels. And breathing out, pointing your feet so that they go away from you. And again, toes up and toes away. And now start to circle the ankles in one direction. And notice where on your circling you might have a gap in the circle, or you flatten the circle. And then very gently circle your ankles in the other direction. And then just relax the feet, let them drop out to the side. And once more, turn your head to the left. Come back to the centre. And turn your head to the right. And come back to the centre. Extend your right heel and gently bending your right elbow, stretch your right arm if you've got space above you. If not, just keep your elbow bent. Stretching out along the right side. And breathing out, turn your head to the left, away from your right arm. Breathe in, come to the centre. And breathe out, lower your right arm and relax your right leg. Extend your left foot and bending your left elbow, raise your left hand above you. Stretching it out if you've got space, but if not, don't worry, just keep your elbow bent, and that's always an option. And breathing out, turn your head to the right, away from your left arm. Breathing into the centre as you come back, and breathing out, lower your left arm and just release and relax. And then bend both knees, one knee first and then the other knee. So knees are up to the ceiling and feet are hip width apart. And feel free to have your feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Your hands again can rest either palms down on the floor, or they can rest on your abdomen with your elbows slightly out, your choice. And just begin to sway both knees to the right, and your left hip will lift. Take an in and an out breath. And when you're ready, press your feet into the ground to lift your knees upwards, and then just gently sway both knees over to the left. And your right hip will lift. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Bring your feet back to centre, and now just start to sway in your own time, both knees to the right. Bring the knees upright and both knees to the left. And you might find that your head wants to join in, naturally turning from side to side as you lower your knees to the ground. And it doesn't matter whether you turn your head in the direction of the knees or you turn your head away from the direction of the knees. Just choose what feels good for you. You're massaging across the lower back. It's almost onto the sacral area of the bottom. And this very gentle movement comes into something called somatic movement, which restores the balance, the relationship of the limbs to the torso. And it's part, all joints is where we can pick up stress in our movement, but very much at the top and the bottom of the spine is very key. As you're gently undulating and moving. And then very gently come to bring your knees to the centre. Feel free at any point always to adjust your feet maybe to be more comfortable. And open your arms, palms down, this time just to an A. And then very gently open the palms upwards to the ceiling. So you're turning the arms in the shoulder sockets. And breathing out, turn the palms down. If you feel that you want to explore opening your arms wider than an A, so that it's almost at a T level, arms level with the shoulders, then feel free to do that. Palms up and then palms down. So here we're exploring relationship of the upper arms and the shoulder sockets. So the shoulder joint and the hip joint can often not go through its full range of movement. This is a very safe way to explore that movement. And then very gently have your palms down. And then slide your hands underneath your head. So you're clasping your hands underneath your head, supporting your head and your neck. And just slightly breathe out as you slightly lift your head, almost lift your shoulder and roll to one direction. I'm rolling to my left, so both elbows slightly lift up and go to the left. Release back down to the ground. Your head might brush the ground, it might not. And then slightly lift, I'm lifting my left shoulder as I'm rolling over to the right. You can roll right onto your shoulder. And just repeat that a couple more times. Just almost rolling at the top of the shoulder blades. As you go to the left, both elbows go in the direction of your left side, and then to the right side. And you'll notice that you're just slightly engaging your lower abdomen to slightly come from side to side. And then just very gently release your head back down to the ground. And notice as your arms open out like wings that you're stretching under your lower arms or under your arms. And then just release the hands, softening the head back down to the ground. And keep your right leg where it is, but again, always feel free that you can adjust your foot and hug your left knee into your chest. This should feel very nice on the lower back and very opening. And you can just very gently circle the left knee a few times in one direction. Holding the left knee with both hands. And your circle can be tiny or it can start to get wider. And then very gently circle your left knee in the other direction. And then drop your hands to your left thigh, clasp your hands and gently extend your left leg to the ceiling. If you extend your left heel, you'll feel a stretch along the back of your left leg, but feel free to keep a bend in the left leg at any point. And just, you might like optionally to walk your hands up your left leg, bringing your left leg slightly towards you. And then sliding your hands down, hug your left knee into your chest. And supporting the left knee, open the left knee to the left and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh. And your hands can either rest on your abdomen or palms down on the floor. And just gently rock both knees from side to side. And feel that you can involve your head in this movement as well as an option, if that feels good for you. And then cross your left leg over your right. That might be enough for you. If you'd like to take it a stage further, lift your right foot off the ground and slide your hands down either to your knees or lower to your shins, above your shins, and hug both knees into the chest, which is very opening for the lower back. But if you're having difficulty in crossing your knees, then stay at the stage where you felt comfortable. And then very gently uncross your left leg. Hands either palms down or resting on your abdomen as you just sway both knees gently from side to side. And then keeping your left leg bent, your left foot on the floor. Hug your right knee into your chest. Very gently start to circle the right knee in the hip socket. and then very gently reverse that circle, moving in the opposite direction. And then dropping your hands to clasp behind your thigh, right thigh. Extend your right heel to the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right leg and extend your right heel. And then start optionally to walk your hands up the back of your right leg, bringing your right leg slightly towards you. And then very gently sliding the hands back down the right leg and bend the right knee in, hugging it into the chest. And opening the right knee out to the right, placing the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And hand either on the floor, palms down, or resting on the abdomen as you just very gently sway both knees from side to side. And then either carried on doing that, or the option is to totally cross the right leg over the left. And again, sway both knees from side to side. And then finally, this is again optional, either stay swaying your knees from side to side, or lift your left foot off, sliding your hands down your legs, so as your right hand will naturally catch your left leg, and your other hand the other leg. Just hug the knees into the chest, and you'll feel this on the outer hips and at the opening the lower back area. And then very gently place the left foot on the floor, uncross your legs. Gently sway both knees from side to side. And then hug the knees into the chest. So as one knee and then the other knee come into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. Rocking a little bit or a lot. And then hugging both knees into the chest. Still holding them, let both knees travel away to you up to arm's length. Hugging both knees into the chest and letting both knees drift away to arm's length. And just repeat this a few times in your own breath, just massaging up and down the lower back. You're almost pulsing along the lower back. And then very gently supporting your legs underneath the thighs if you need to place one foot and then the other down onto the mat. And taking your time, because it's hot today and any movement should be very gentle, we're going to be coming onto our hands and knees into a cat position. So, Rosie, I don't know where you are. You might not know where you are on that cat. I do remember that you might need to take things quite carefully on that.
Yes, the dipping,
Yeah.
rather than the arching. I'm okay on
The arching.
yes, but I'm not down.
Okay.
So I've a bit of backache at the moment too. It's not bad, but it's niggling.
It's niggling.
Yes.
Lower back.
Mm-hmm.
Lower back.
Yes. Yes, it does from time to time, yes. One of those things.
How's your gardening? Have you been enthusiastically over gardening?
Over gardening, yes, I bet lots of people have actually. I've done, yes, a bit over enthusiastic. I can get carried away in the garden as well.
Okay.
And pulling stuff. Okay.
If you are going to pull stuff,
Yes.
breathe out as you're pulling because that engages the abdomen muscles in and protects you.
Okay, out. As a
If
bit,
you-
breathe
as you
breathe.
pull,
Yeah.
breathe out because that will naturally bring the core in and protect you. But
Yes, it does. It has a discarding.
so come
Somebody
you
that.
onto the hands and knees.
The sun's moving around to meet me, I think.
Do you want me to put the blind down?
Right, it hasn't got there yet, it's fine.
You sure? Is it distracting?
No.
Is it hot?
No, just because there's a bit of breeze came in just
Okay.
now. So, yeah.
Do say if it's
It's fine.
So just gently sway your bottom from side to side. And your back's neutral, so you're very safe here. And if you can imagine looking down on top of you, and imagine you're a fish. So a fish will sway its bottom, and sway its tail, doesn't have a bottom, it'll sway its tail, and it will almost do an S curve. So again, explore your range of movement. You might want to do that a little bit, or you might want to do that a lot. And then come to a neutral back. So whereas be very, very careful, we are going to just dip our back, but obviously you stay to neutral, dipping our back out, looking up or along the floor, and breathing out, rounding. Again, Rosie, just take to where you are able to round or not round.
I think it round.
There you go.
And just lower. It's fine.
And neutral back for you, but dipping. And round. So just, you don't need to do this here, Rosie, but when you dip your back, if you engage your perineum slightly upwards and your lower tummy back, that would, it might just make things slightly better, but I just wanted to.
Going slightly back then, the body come backwards.
Okay.
That's very comfortable. It's when I start to invert, convex and
Okay. And then
concave.
just very, very gently slide your right foot back, extend the right heel, and then put the knee to the mat and extend the left foot back. And then come to the right side again. So normally in Tiger you lift your foot and you lift your hand, but this time just try to explore sliding your right foot back. Your right toes stay on the ground. Tummy comes in slightly and optionally to extend your left arm. And then replace that. That might be quite strong. And then replace your knee. Slide your left leg back, tap the left toes under, tummy in, and extend your right arm. If you wanted to go to the next stage, you're lifting your leg off, but that's quite a balance and needs all kinds of things, so you can stay just extending. And then just replace your hand. And now, however you want to do this, tucking your toes, take your time, use the support, use whatever you need to. We're going to come up to standing by rolling up gently, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. And I'm going to revisit. Do you want me to close the window a little bit? Do you want me to put the blind down?
I'm still all right at the moment. I'll
Sure.
shout out to you if I get really hot.
Okay.
I'm just watching.
Okay. I
There's
can
breeze
put.
coming in, breeze is nice.
Okay. There is air conditioning, but of course that means closing all windows, presumably. So yes, please do keep having lots of water. So is everybody all right from?
It's a bit 30 degrees today, I think I heard in the radio. Not 30.
Gosh.
Well,
Okay.
I did think about having a fan. I thought, well, no, because from a COVID point of view, I think we're all vaccinated, aren't we? We're all.
Two done.
But then does that mean that you're not supposed to have air blowing from one person? So if I had a fan,
Well,
would
it's
that
not
be
100%, is it? That's the point. It's not. You're not 100%
protected?
protected. But you know, you've got to let it go at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, I didn't because I thought, you're going to blow air everywhere. Is that going to be worse?
That's
No.
not great.
Well, great.
This is fine.
That's okay.
It is a hot, it's very hot. Hottest day, I think, so keep going.
So just watching your arm just swaying gently from side to side. Lifting your feet, or lifting your heels I should say. Feel the adjustment comes to where you feel comfortable. And just no shoulder issues here.
No.
So just then gently creating your own breeze as you sway from side to side. And then come gently to slow the swaying down. And then come to standstill. Bring your feet hip width apart. Lift and roll your shoulders. Set them away from the ears. Breathing in, raising your arms, circling them up, clasping, reversing up, stretching up and keeping looking forward. Breathe out laterally. You're just going to one side, chin into the chest, protecting your neck. Breathing in, come to the centre. Breathing out, go to the other side. Breathing in, come to the centre. Carefully turn a little bit to one side, rotation. Come back to the centre and then carefully turn to the other side. Come to the centre. Lower your hands, they've been up for a while. Lift and roll your shoulders. Place your hands on your waist. An option to lift your heels in a balance. And then, well done, lower your heels. And then just slightly bend your knees and bottom slightly away. You're just engaging your abdominal muscles. Perhaps look down at the floor so that your back of your neck's long, and then press your feet into the ground. Stand up. Release your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. I think like this one, clasping the hands behind and aim the knuckles to the floor. That opens your shoulders. You can, if you want to, lift your hands a little bit away from you. Turn to the left. Come to the centre. And turn to the right. Come back to the centre. And then release the hands. Raise the hands upwards. Stretch the fingers and then circle the wrists down. And once they're down, open the fingers and just curl them in. And open the fingers and curl them in. And then just shake your hands out. And then feet hip width apart. Slide your hands down to your shins. Press your hands into the shins, flat back, shin tucks in. Breathe out, soften your knees. Breathe in, press your hands down as you come back to flat back. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up. Catch your thumbs and then swaying palm, just go gently from side to side. And come to the centre, lower your arms, Lift and roll your shoulders and place your hands on your waist. So you're opening your lungs and you're opening under your arms, so part of your lymph system here. So you just gently take a breath in and out. You can close your eyes or look along the ground. And just feel if your breath is any different. And then you can add to this by very gently smiling at the corners of your mouth. And feel if the air is any different. It seems to open into the back of the head almost. So you get air up into, get energy prana up into the head. And then just release your hands. And once more circle your arms up. Reverse. Palms up. Tummy in. To one side. Come to the centre. To the other side. Come to the centre. Just gently turn to one side. Come to the centre. And gently turn to the other side. And then come to the centre. Lower your hands. You might like to widen your feet. And just bend your knees. So whether you bend to here, or whether you carry on bending, or whether you carry on to squatting is up to you. So don't strain yourself, particularly on a hot day. It's whatever works for you. And just take an in and an out breath at the level that you feel comfortable at. Well done. And then perhaps place your hands down to come into a slight forward bend. I'm not going to keep you here for very long. Straighten your feet. And just turn over your left foot. Come to the centre and turn over your right foot. Come to the centre. Clasp behind your calves. Just soften your knees as you bend in. And then pressing your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then this very Tai Chi movement, hands out. So just imagine you're flying, bending your knees. So here you're moving through every joint. And you'll see people in parks out in, doing all this very gentle movement. And you think, oh, how weird. But you're actually, if your arms or shoulders are hurting, then just make the outward movement slower. Bend your elbows more. You can bend as much or as little as you like. But as you press your feet into the ground, you can feel every joint virtually is moving. Your intercostal muscles along your ribs. Your knees, but not too much. Weight's going through your feet. And then just gently bring your hands to stillness. Perhaps readjust your feet comfortably. Hands underneath your tummy. And then this is a very strange exercise, but lifting your hands up, almost brushing over your head. It's to getting into your magnetic field. So it breaks the connection between you and the outside world. Breathing in, over your head, and then breathing in, over your head. Lift and roll shoulders, and come just to take an in and an out breath. This is called the dantian, so it's just below the navel. In Chinese medicine it's called the dantian, in yoga it's called the hara, so it's your core. So just bringing the focus here, pressing your feet into the ground, sets your toes, and that realigns your posture, so everything should be stacking up. Balanced, no strain on any joints at all. And then just release. And step forward a little bit with your left foot. Maybe put your left foot out to the side. And if you're able to, just lift your back right heel. And just cactus arms, bend, and come up again. and bend and come up again, and bend and come up again. Lower your arms and lower your right heel and step backwards. Lift and roll your shoulders. So this is part of a sequence. When people balance, if their balance isn't great, and mine for some reason is not great, it's a way of strengthening all the leg muscles. If you, so yes, I could go on ad nauseum. Put your right foot out to the right, and further out if you feel you're a bit wobbly. Lift your back heel off the ground and feel that you can adjust that. And then you can either keep your hands on your waist or up here, but practice will go halfway. So just bend, and coming up, bend. And going very slowly is actually harder, and you're just activating muscles that you need for balance, but don't necessarily always, in a balance, you're concentrating so hard, and then just last one. And then just release, lower the back foot, and kind of just step to however you want to do it, and then just side to side. And so this next one is really good for the heart, believe it or not. So just come to lift and roll your shoulders. Step out into an A. You might need to watch me, maybe. I'm going to turn my left toes in and my right toes out and come into a modified warrior. Just soften my front knee and bringing my, so Rosie, you bring your left palm to your right. So left palm to the right.
Right.
Slide your left palm back along the inside of the right arm, bending your left elbow, as if you're pulling a bow. And then right hand up, looking up at your right thumb. Bring your head upright and open the arms. Left palm to right. Slide your left palm to the inside, bending at the elbow, drawing an imaginary bow, stretching across the heart area. Right hand up, looking at the ceiling. Open your arms wide, and then lower your arms. Come to A again, and then turn your right foot in, left foot out. Your warrior two, soften your front knee. So this time it's back arm, right arm, comes to the left palm. Slide the right arm back, elbow high. Draw an imaginary bow. Lift up the left arm, looking at the left thumb, and open your arms out wide. Right palm to left palm. Slide along the inside, elbow up, draw your bow, and then raise your left arm looking upwards. Arms out, lower your arms when you're ready. And bring your feet in. I would say come forward, but it's such a hot day, and again coming forward, so I'm just going to say just slightly sway from side to side. Just slightly bend your knees and place your hands to the inside of your thighs and just do that again. I'm not going to suggest coming totally forward. And then just come upright and heel toes, so heels in and then toes in. Your feet in. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing into the left. As you turn your head, breathing out, slowly turn your head to the right, into the left, and out to the right, into the left, and out to the right. Bring your head to the centre, hands at the heart, and then come to sitting with your legs out in a V. As we come back down to the earth.
And hands just lightly either side of you. Just bounce your legs. And if you want to massage or pat your legs, then do it. Or further up, that's fine too, just whatever. Get circulation going. And then just very gently slide your hands down your legs, tummy in, and just come to a forward bend. If you touch your big toes, that's fine. Thumb on top of the toes, if it's the outside, that's fine. But if you literally are just here, that's fine too.
Is this good for the lower back?
It's very relaxing, but not too far forward, and there's a reason for that. So it's very calming for the nervous system.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you had a bulging disc, since you asked me, or a herniated disc, and you're coming forward on the inside of the spine, if you had a bulging disc and you came too far forward, then that can be tricky. But
Right.
as we haven't got that, that's fine. But if you've had back straight, it's one of those bizarre things. You need to move your back in all directions. In back programs, what they do to stop you, to get the benefits from it, they put a bolster or a cushion or a blanket here that pushes in, lifts you up, and then you come forward slightly and less, so that you're stretching at the lower back area. But so in other words, you're fine, but if you suddenly came into an extreme forward bend and you'd herniated your disc, you might not.
I slipped
For
the
some
disc when I
reason.
was young.
Oh,
Very
did you?
young, in my, I was about 9.
Gosh,
I
that's
think it was doing some high jumping and I think I sort of whisked off the pitch because I'd hurt my back. But that slipped it slightly. It's not nothing serious, but it did slip slightly.
So it's fine, it's probably old scar tissue, but just always feel your way in a forward bend.
Yes, sure.
Just because it is benefit, because
Yes,
it
it's
calms your
on your
nervous
house
system.
Yes, you're saying head down and chin in. Yes.
So have a sense that you're pressing your hands, just lengthening your back and then just relaxing, so that you're creating space for vertebra.
Mm.
And then just slide your hands up. I've got this in between, but you might want to bring your feet in slightly, and just your hands back. You don't have to have them like me in Dandasana, you can have them out. And just lift your chest. And again, lifting your neck is problematic, so just slight lift of the chin, lengthening the chest, looking upwards. And then come back to the centre. And what we haven't done, but we is just cross your left leg over your right. Lengthen, and then bring your right hand to the left, outer thigh, left hand behind. So just sitting up and turning. Come back through the centre, uncross your legs. You might want to take a tiny nod forwards. And then coming up, I'm trying to think. Cross your right leg over your left. Left hand goes to the right thigh. Right hand goes behind. It's an alternate movement, a cross-legged seated turn, and then turn to look over your right shoulder. Come back to the centre, uncross your legs. Just slide your hands down, just a very relaxed, you can even have your palms up. But more wisdom is just a slide down. Back of the neck is long, so it begins to be calming to the nervous system. But then to come back to ultra calming for the nervous system, we're going to come once more to lying, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And come to, as we started, by counting, by just resting hands on the abdomen. Your knees can be apart, or if you like them touching, that's fine. You might like to do a couple of what I call pelvic tilts, so just flattening the back to the ground as if you're lifting the bottom, but you're only going a millimetre
and relaxing, just rolling along the spine. I like to move your shoulders, wiggle from side to side. Once more, you might like to turn your head from one side to the other. You can come into full Shavasana if you'd like to just relax totally on the floor, or if you've got a lower back issue, keeping your knees bent is good too, but whatever works for you. And just bring your attention to your feet. Feel that you're relaxing them. The heels, and the backs of the heels where the Achilles heel is. Just feel that you're relaxing. All along the shins and the backs of the calves. The knees, the thighs, and the backs of the thighs. Through to the hips, heavy on the ground. Up through the lower abdomen, through to the stomach, chest, and up to the collarbones, spreading across the collarbones to each shoulder. And down the tops of the arms, to the elbows and the backs of the elbows, along the forearms, backs of the hands, palms, thumbs, second, third, fourth, little fingers, and the space beyond the fingers. Bring your attention to the lower back and work vertebra by vertebra along the spine up to the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, back of the head, the ears and the space between the ears, top of the head, forehead, eyebrows, across the temples. Feel the eyes relaxing in the sockets, letting go of any tension. And let your focus drift along sides of the face, down to the jawbone, tracing its way up to the lips, the top, and lower, on the top, the lips. And then bring your attention to rest at the base of the nostrils. And be aware of the air as you breathe in. Slightly cooler, not a lot, on a day like today, and slightly warmer as you breathe out. And bringing your attention, perhaps have your tongue up to the back of your teeth. Bring your attention to the nose as you breathe in. And perhaps follow your breath, thinking or just tracing it to a point in the centre of your head. And this time, as you breathe out, put in anything that you don't want, any niggles or pains or thoughts that aren't serving you today. And breathing out to the edge of the body. And with your next breath coming in to a point in the centre of your head. As you breathe out, putting in anything you don't want today, breathe out this time to the edge of the world, expanding the horizons. And the next breath, breathing in, putting into that out-breath anything that's not serving you today. You're expanding and breathing out to the edge of the universe as you receive it. And then just awareness of the breath in the nostrils. The air as it just gently touches the lower nostrils. Come to notice any sounds, both inside and outside. And be aware of where you are on the mat. The feel and the texture of the clothes on your skin. And just very gently, you might like to bring your hands together and just rub them, creating a friction in your hands. And when they feel warm to you, just place your hands over your closed eyes. And when you're ready, open gently your eyes into the darkness of your hands to bring you back to where we are in the present. And when you're ready, just very gently move your hands away from your face. Hug one knee in and then the other knee into the chest. And just very gently rock once more from side to side. And really take your time to come up. So yogically, you would roll to your right side, away from your heart, and stay rolled to the side, letting the body orientate to the movement that you've just made, coming out of relaxation. And then very gently press your left arm onto the ground, tummy slightly in. Maybe extend your top left leg to bring you up gently. And when you're up seated, come to legs out. And just very gently lengthen your body. Once more, slightly turn your head to the left. Bring it to the centre and turn it to the right. Come back to the centre. Bring your hands to your heart. And just slightly lower your chin to your chest. Taking a bow for yourself for the day ahead. And thank you very much.